Hello everyone, I'm Ridhima. I'm an ACCA aspirant myself and I'm working as an auditor in the Big Four. So I'm making this short video for all the students who could not unfortunately pass their audit exams, be it their first attempt, second, or let's not go that way, because a lot of my friends have also tried to give this exam for more than 2 times and yet there was something left. There might be some, place that they could not cover up, be it the way they are writing the exam or be it the way they understand the concepts. So I'm making this video just as an introduction to give you a gist of how you can further proceed, right? And this will not be a very brief video, just a very short video to give you an idea for today, and if you would like it, then I can make a brief video on it as well. So before anything else, before going ahead, even if it's your first attempt, just remember two things: that the audit revolves around two things majorly. This audit exam, I would say, this ACCA exam specifically. The first one is, of course, the concept. You have to understand the logic, the concept of what you are studying, how the audit procedures are done, why are they done. These things you will get to understand only when you have read the chapters yourself or you have seen some lectures, be it free lectures on YouTube, be it Anshul sir's lecture, or be it some other great teachers who have posted some videos online, or be it some paid institution. So concept is very important. Like I have passed my audit exam in the second attempt, and after my first attempt I was very confident that I've surely passed the exam. I've written so many things, but unfortunately I got only 30 marks. So the reason for that was not because of my concepts were weak. The reason for that was the way of writing my exams. The way I was writing my exams, it played a major role, I would say, how it's written. Because the ACCA team wants you to write your exam in a specific format, in a specific way, in a specific professional manner. And if you miss out on that, then it can be really problematic for you, right? So if I start with a brief of how we are supposed to do the exam, how we're supposed to prepare for the exam, the very first step is to have a clear map in your head. Don't look at this, please, it's just for my personal reference, but yes, I'll show you what is important for you guys. So this part is important. Even if it's your first attempt, or if it's not your first attempt, you would understand the division in a better way. But even if it's your first attempt, here is a little idea for you. The part A consists of the intro, the rules and regulation, the corporate governance, and the ethics. So basically all these 4 chapters, there is not it's not the actual chunk of audit. It's just an introduction, that how it needs to be done, who all are there in the audit committee, who all are there in the board of directors. It's the outer thing. It's not the actual crust of audit, but it is important. Why it is important? Because this chapter, the corporate governance, and in fact even the intro, all these things can come either in section A, like a short question, or section B also. Section B, you will usually find questions which is related to your your board of director, like who should be there in which committee, what is the problem, what is the ethical problem, what type of a threat or ethical threat is there in such situation. So you might find such questions in section A and B a lot, but in section C also you might be surprised if they have given some short 2 to 4 marker question. So you have to prepare this section. But yes, this section is just an introduction for you to prep up for the actual thing, right? Moving on to the next one is the part B. This is very important. I'm saying it is important from learning point of view. It is very important. You have to understand the risk, the planning, and the evidence. You have to understand the logic, that when we are saying risk, what are the different terms in this chapter. You need to remember, learn those terms, what they actually mean. Planning, what is there in planning? Then in evidence, why do we need evidence? What type of evidence do we need, under which circumstances, right? If someone have studied this audit chapter already, they would have heard this word of test of controls, the substantive procedures, right? So all this comes under evidence. You have to get a clear map in your head. This is one of the notes I made for myself, because the better map you're able to make, the more your brain is able to understand it, and the better you write it in your exam also, right? So people usually get confused that how are we supposed to write answers, there's so many things to cover up. Don't worry, go step by step, you will definitely be able to cover up. And the step 1 for audit is to learn these words, like what is an audit evidence, to gain audit evidence, we do two things. What are those two things? And in those two things, what are the methods that we follow? We follow confirmations, we perform analytical procedures, we do inspections, and then we reperform, we recalculate, we observe. These things you'll have to learn, right? Then coming on to your next part of your syllabus is part C, talks about the controls, the internal audit, very short chapter, the procedures, very important chapter. And again, the more you read it, the better it is. I mean, I will give you a brief if you want in the next video, not in this one, but I'm just letting you know. I'm just giving you an idea in this video. Then coming to the next one is the part D, very important again, this reporting part. This is actually the ultimate. I would suggest that give this chapter a read before you start audit, because you will get to understand why are you doing all these things. The ultimate conclusion, the ultimate goal of an auditor or your whole company is to give an audit opinion, right? It is to give an audit opinion if the financial statements provided by your client, are they giving a true and fair view or not, right? That is what it is. And this chapter will come in section C most probably, and if not section C, then in section A also the questions can be made up very easily. So don't take this chapter for granted. This is something you should know irrespective of the fact if it's coming in your exam or if it's not, right? So do this chapter very nicely, do the parts of it very nicely, like what is the audit report, what are the components of it, the key audit matters, everything, what type of reports are produced, modified, unmodified, adverse. You should know all these meanings. It's very important. I hope I'm not making you overwhelmed with this, but yes, if it's a reattempt, then you would know what I mean. And if it's your first attempt, please don't worry. We are there. It's okay. It'll happen. You have to practice. Another suggestion which was there for you guys is that I would like to mention that ratios, do not ignore them. These are free marks for you. Whenever you are doing your exam kit, right, you will find questions which has some inventory turnover ratio or maybe a payable turnover ratio or gearing or something. So write those formulas to yourself, write it in a separate page so that you remember these and you learn these every day. It will be a good trick for you. Alright guys, I'll end the video over here because of course I have more suggestions for you for the procedures chapter, for the risk chapter and reporting chapter, but I will continue it only if you guys want me to, right? This video was just an introductory thing of how you guys can start now that you have got your results in hand, right? So you can comment down whichever some specific area do you need help with, or you need some suggestion how to do it better. Exam kit is the mantra, guys. Open the question, open the answer. If you don't know the answer, look at the answer and then try to write it yourself in the notebook, or of course type it in the laptop. It will help you more, right? So just comment me to know. I'll make a video and post as soon as possible. Thank you so much.